As you've seen in the last video, I had multiple encounters with multiple bucks. I had a couple target bucks in this area. There was plenty of sign, but I was not seeing any of those bucks, either on camera or on stand. I bounced around from bedding area to bedding area, hoping to catch a glimpse. I did, however, had a couple encounters with some borderline bucks, but nothing I was willing to shoot. I didn't want to burn out my spots in this area, and I didn't want to put too much pressure on these deer. So I decided to flip the script and go to a completely different area. An area I had some good intel over the summer on some really nice bucks. Hopefully I run into one of them. I'm all set up. Last night I went out scouting. It just started to get dark, and there was a good buck back here with a doe. There's been a couple times where I've come in here and seen deer, and most of my spots, they do not set up very well with the southwest wind. We got a strong south wind right now. Behind me is the lake. In front of me is this ridge top. There's a couple beds in here. There's a scrape, and there's a pretty decent rub over here too. So it's a shot in the dark. He might not be big enough. He might not come in here. I think it's about 5 minutes to 3. Start getting dark about 6. So I got 3 hours. Hopefully my battery on this camera lasts long enough. A couple runs across the top here. It's hard to see them because they're covered in leaves. Alright, there's a scrape right there. There's a run that goes across the top here this way, and it splits and goes this way. It's hard to see it, but it's there. Well, it didn't take long, and I was already seeing the deer coming on top of the ridge. I get ready just in case a buck is behind this doe. I observed this doe for quite a while, and I knew it was going to get dark fast. After about 20 minutes, I spot another doe off to my right. With closing time setting in and no buck in sight, I decided I was going to take her. Yep, here's my arrow. I would say that's a clean miss. Back to the drawing board. Well, good morning, everybody. It's November the 6th. Temperature dropped down to 26 degrees. There's like no wind, so it's a nice, chilly, frosty morning. I like in the cold. I think it's going to get these deer moving again. It seems like it's been kind of slow for me this week. I haven't seen anything worth shooting. I had that doe come in 5 minutes to closing and took a shot and hit a branch, but that's okay. That's bow hunting. So we're going to keep after it. I've got a few more days left on my vacation, but there's still a lot of season left. Alrighty, let's get after it, and I'll see you in the tree. Saw a doe come out of this bottom, go across, now I can't find her. She's over shooter, but we'll see. There he is. He's coming. Only the shooter. Right. Holy crap. It sounded like he crashed, but I'm not sure. I hope I didn't hit him in the shoulder. It looked like a shoulder shot. He came into the grunt call. It wasn't a pass through. There was another deer over there too. Dang it. 850. I just have a bad feeling about that shot. On this hunt, caught a glimpse of a doe coming through about 60 yards away, and just a few minutes later, I caught a glimpse of a buck. So I grabbed the grunt call and gave it a soft grunt, and he came in on a string. And as he's coming in, I could tell he was a shooter. He gets behind some trees. I draw my bow back. He gets to the opening, and I had ranged that opening earlier, so I knew the yardage was 25 yards. I mouth grunt at him, and I stop him. I settle my pin, and I take my shot. As I look over the footage, you can see the arrow coming, and the deer drops just a little bit. I could see that the arrow was sticking out more than half, and with very small pin drops of blood, I believe it wasn't a vital shot, and I believe that that deer lived. It's unfortunate. Things like this can happen, even for the best bow hunters. All the key factors were there except executing that shot. So I think that's what happened. But even though I didn't get that deer, I always take note of everything that happened and all the key factors that were there. One key factor is it was an overlooked spot on public land. It had bedding cover right next to food. The acorns were right with less than 100 yards. And the timing was the rut. And that buck, I believe, came out of his bed and was searching for that doe. And I learned and gained all that information. I never did see that buck again, but if he made it through the season, maybe he will be bigger or another buck will take his place. I did manage to get out and fill another tag on a nice doe on November 15th. So for some words of encouragement, if you made a bad shot and lost a deer, or even if you had an encounter with a buck and he blew out of there, don't dwell on it. Make a valiant search and move on. Don't let your mistakes ruin your next hunt or your next season. Instead, stay positive and take note of everything that happened that could help you someday in next hunt or in next season. There's always another deer, there's always another spot, and there's always another time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.